Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel English by Nisa. So in this video we are going to discuss a very beautiful and romantic poem which is written by John Keats, which is La Belle Dame sans Merci. It is a French phrase which means a beautiful lady without mercy. So before moving further, let's know about the author John Keats. John Keats, he was an English poet of the second generation of Romantic poets. Keats had the most remarkable career of any English poet. But he died at the age of 25 because of he got tuberculosis. He published only 54 poems in three slim volumes and a few magazines. Now let's see the brief description of this poem. So, as I told you, this La Belle Dame sans Merci, it is a French phrase which means a beautiful woman without mercy. So, it is a conversation between a poet and a knight. The conversation is about a knight where he tells his story that how he met a fairy lady and he falls in love with the lady, but that lady leave him alone on the island. This poem describes a short encounter between a knight and a fairy lady. It is a romantic ballad. Ballad is nothing but it is a long story in the form of poem and song. This poem is not Keats' own invention, but he has taken the title from French poem which is written by Alien Chatter. The original poet Alien Chatter, he has written this poem in 100 stanzas, whereas you can see this Keats poem is comparably short and doesn't follow Chatter's octosyllabic line pattern. Here, this poem Keats has written in 12 stanzas and each stanza having 4 lines. But the original poet has written this poem in 100 stanzas, whereas that each stanza having 8 lines. But it is different from the original poem. And this poem was published in the year 1819 and the rhyming scheme is A, B and C, D. Here in this first three stanzas, the poet asks questions from the knight, and rest of the nine stanzas, the knight explain his life story to the poet. So, as I told you, the first three stanzas comprise the questions raised by the poet to the knight. So, let's start the first stanza. So, here the poem begins with the poet's question to the knight. Oh, what can ail thee, knight at arms, alone and palely loitering? The sage has withered from the lake, and no bird sings. So, this phrase, oh, what can ail thee, it is a phrase which reflects that the knight is in ail. Ail means a trouble, and thee means you. Knight at arms means soldier. So, the poet asks him why he is sad and wandering alone near lake where no green grass is left and no bird is singing. Loiter means moving aimlessly, means here and there. And sage means the plant which grow near the lake. The season described in the poem is that of winter. In literature, winter symbolizes solitude, sorrow, and grief. And this also refers to fact that knight at arms is in grieved. So whenever poet wanted to show grief and solitude, so they used the season of winter. Now in the second stanza, oh what can ail thee, knight at arm, so haggard and so woe begone? The squirrel's granary is full and the harvest is done. Now in this second stanza, the poet repeats the same question. He asks the knight at arms why he is tired and miserable in appearance. So in this stanza, he refers to the winter season. He describes the winter season clearly in this stanza by telling that the squirrel is done with collecting its grains and even the harvest is also done. Means here squirrel's granary is full, means a storehouse of squirrels that is also full because they are preparing for winter season and harvest is also done. Then why you are sad and alone here? Now let's see the third stanza. I see a lily on thee brow, with anguish moist and fever dew, and on thee cheeks a fading rose fast withered too. So here the poet tells the knight at arms that there is a lily on his brow, that is, his face is without color and is pale like a lily. There are sweat and pain in his forehead that depicts that the knight at arms is sick. So this means because he is sick, he got a fever. That's why his forehead is moist and having dew, means sweat. In the final two lines, the poet says that the color of the knighted arms face is fading quickly, like that of a withered rose. So till here the poet is talking and raising question to the knight at arms. In the following stanzas, the knight at arms tells his story and the reason behind his such condition. I met a lady in the meads. Meads means the meadows, the grassy land, full beautiful, a fairish child. Her hair was long, her foot was light, and her eyes were wild. So, here, after listening to the questions raised by the poet, the knight at arms finally answers that he met a beautiful lady in the meadows. She had long hair, white feet, and passionate eyes. She seemed to be a fairy's child. Means she is not from earth. She doesn't belong to the earth, but she seems to be a fairy's child. So after meeting the lady, the knight at arms falls in love with her, and he gives her a jewelry of flowers. I made a garland for her head and a bracelet too, and a fragrant zone. She looked at me as she did love, and made a sweet moan. So here, as a token of love, he gives that fairy lady a garland for her head, bracelets, and a fragrant zone, means which is a belt made up of flowers for the harvest. After taking that gifts from the knight, the lady also respond to his love by looking at him with affection and making a sweet moan. Now the meaning of moan is nothing but a slow sound. Then afterwards he takes her along with him on his horse. I sat her on my pacing steed, and nothing else saw all day long, for sidelong would she bend and sing a fairy song. So here the meaning of pacing steed means a walking horse. So here he is described that the knight of arms whole day they spend the time with each other. The lady also sings a song for the knight at arms that seemed to him as a fairy song that's very melodious. Fairy song means a melodious song. Then she found me roots of relish sweet and honey wild and manna dew. And sure in language strange she said, I love thee true. So here after accepting his gifts, the lady then gives him too that tasty and sweet food to eat, like including tasty roots, honey of wild bees, and sweet gum of manna ash. And also in her fairy language she sang. The knight of arm here he doesn't understand her language. It seems to him that she said, I love you truly in her own language. The meaning of this phrase. In the next stanza, she took me to her elfin grot. Now, elfin grot is nothing but it is a magical cave, means a fairy cave. And there she wept and sighed full sore, and there I shut her wild eyes with kisses for. So here the lady then takes him to her elfin grot, which means a small and fairy cave. There she weeps loudly. But here the knight at arms do not reveal the reason for it why she is weeping. So he guessed that perhaps it refers to the way of expressing her love. Then the knight at arms kisses her wild eyes and shut them so that she may sleep. In the further stanza he described, there she lulled me asleep, and there I dreamed, ah woe betide, the latest dream I ever dreamt on the cold hillside. So here the meaning the lady lulls, or in simple words we can say send him to sleep. So the knight at arms in that dreams he seen one of the nightmare most terrifying dream on hillside that he described ah woe betide. Ah woe betide is an exclamation that expresses that knight at arms is in grief and fear because of that dream. In this stanza, knight at arms he describing what he saw in that dream. I saw pale kings and princes too, pale warriors, that pale were they all. They cried, La Belle Dame sans mercy, thee hath in thrall. Which means the knight at arms see kings, princes, warriors in his dream who have turned pale and have a dead like appearance. All of them warn the knight at arms that La Belle Dame sans mercy, that is, which means beware of that lady. Here they are giving warning to this knight at arms that beware of that lady because she is without mercy. She is the same lady who has led them the dread fate. Then further he described, I saw their starved lips in gloom, with horrid warning gaped wide, and I awoke and found me here on the cold hillside. So here the knight at arms described that there is starved lips which were altogether warning him that beware of that lady who doesn't have mercy. Then the knight at arms he wakes up at once and finds him alone on the cold hillside because the merciless lady left him alone on the island. So here let's see the final stanza. And this is the why I sojourn here, alone and palely loitering, though the sedges withered from the lake and no bird sings. The knight at arms here says that this is the reason why he is wandering all alone along the lake, where there is no grass and at a time when there is no bird to sing. That's why he is in miserable condition, pale face. So this is the answer of your question what you were asking me that why I am wandering alone on the island. Because I too become a prisoner of that beautiful lady who is without mercy. So in my views the conclusion of this poem is reflects how beauty can deceive a person and make him fall or suffer. So this is all about the poem La Belle Dame Sans Mercy, A Beautiful Lady Without Mercy by John Keats. I hope it would be helpful for you. Stay tuned for more videos and thanks for watching.